This is AMD's RX 7900 XTX, and this is their Ryzen 9 7950X. And today I'm going to be combining them to make the ultimate all AMD build. Okay, of course, I'm going to need more parts to do that. So let's go over them. We have first, just kind of get this out of the way, we have it's built in the Tower 500 by Thermaltake. I really like this case. It's big, looks pretty cool, kind of just looks like a box, but I do like it. Lots of views, lots of angles, things like that. And it also has a lot of USB 3 right here. Just a lot of things I like about this case. So this is going to be the new case in it. And then we obviously have for the GPU, the 7900 XTX, then the 7950X Ryzen CPU. Then we have a Aorus X670E master motherboard, 1000G plus EVGA. This is really just one that I had. I do like it. We have Trident Z5 DDR5 memory. This is obviously an AM5 board, so it requires DDR5. Then we have the Corsair H150i Elite. This is one that has an LCD on it. Pretty cool. We're going to be playing around with that a little bit. For the thermal paste, we have the XTM50 Corsair. For storage, we have the MP600. This rig is going to become my new main rig. So this is actually the one that was already in it. So this will be the one that's in the new system as well. But before I get to the build, I'll have affiliate links to these parts down in the description below. They don't cost you anything more, and it helps the channel out. First, we're gonna set up the motherboard. Here I'm just getting the heatsink taken off for the M.2 drive. Okay, first, we want to remove this. This is a PCI Express 4.0 SSD. Then what you want to do is, this is a thermal pad right here. Most of these new SSDs do pretty much require them, but a lot of motherboards come with them. But also you can buy a heatsink for that SSD. Next, we're going to go ahead and put in the CPU. Now, I do not have the little pad that you have that comes with it, just because I have already used this motherboard. But that's okay. We don't really need it. I'm going to go ahead and you want to line up your arrow right here with the arrow on the motherboard. Make sure everything's lined up and it seated properly. Bring this down. On the first time you do it, you're going to hear some crunches. That's because this is an LGA socket. So the pins are actually on the motherboard and not the CPU. So it kind of actually pushes those pins down. Next, we will go ahead, and there's only one right way to do this. It won't let you put it in wrong. Gonna have to press pretty hard down. I'm gonna hold off on the GPU, and we aren't going to put the cooler on just yet, not until we actually have it in our case, to which it is big and heavy. Okay. So first, let's take this top piece off. All right. Now that that is off, we should just be able to lift these out. It does come with these little protective pieces, so you can touch it and everything. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. Pull this one off. As you can see, this is a modular PSU, but I went ahead and installed pretty much everything that I need. And how you actually do this, you're gonna have to put it with the fan down, just like this. You can see it slides in. Actually, if you put it the other way, it won't let you push it in. So it does require that to be down. Then what you want to do, you want to go ahead and screw it in. Usually the screws for the power supply actually look like, let's see if this can do it. Look like this right here. They have the end just like that. You don't have to put a screw in every hole, just enough just to keep it mounted. And that should do it right there. And go ahead and put on our motherboard. Now this is a little bit different because it actually mounts the motherboard at a 90-degree angle. So instead of up and down, it's going to be sideways. The standoffs are already here, and you want to take your motherboard screws. These are almost always, I'll show you right here. These are almost always the ones that have the head just like this. You're almost always going to have that being motherboard screws. And you want just like this. Oh, and periodically throughout the build, you do want to try and touch the metal just to make sure you don't fry anything with static electricity off of your hands. So you just want to touch metal ever so often before you go and touch intricate parts like the motherboard and things like that. Also, you do want to try and crisscross, go diagonal. It's kind of a rule in just building almost anything with screws. One annoying thing sort of about the motherboards nowadays it was pretty easy to find all the screws where you needed to screw it in. There's also one right here. So you have two screws for your standoffs that are hidden underneath a heatsink. That's just one sort of annoying thing about having all the heat sinks everywhere. Now everything, you know, has to have the heat dissipated because it gets so hot. So you do want to double check, make sure that you have all the screws in. It should be 9 total. Let's go ahead and get the power going to everything. Ooh, I'm used to the CPU being up top, but because it's sideways, it actually is right here. There is a lot of space back here for cable management as well. Next, we have the 7900 XTX. And as you can see, it just lifts right out of the box. Really beautiful GPU. So let's move this over. Ooh. Now, oh, it's heavy. It is actually fairly heavy. No weird 16-pin connector to deal with, though eventually they likely will be on pretty much everything. Maybe, I don't know. I don't want to say that for sure, but I mean, that is the new PCI Express 5.0 spec. So next we put in the AIO brackets. This bottom part actually just kind of slides right in. It's mostly the top that holds it in. Okay, one thing I just learned while I was putting this on, you can actually take the giant LCD module and take it right off. I am actually going to go ahead and take this off now. You don't have to. I have used it on systems before. It works fine. I just have something else that I'm going to be using. So you just take a little bit of, well, that's a lot, but usually just a little bit of alcohol. Just wipe it off. There's the pea size. That should be good right there. After getting the radiator screwed in, I had to wire up all of these RGB fans and pump into the hub. Finally, here I'm getting through all of the wiring, and I have to say that for how expensive motherboards are, it really sucks that they don't come with a manual anymore. I mean, you always have to use it, and it was nice to just have a quick reference. Okay, this is it, the moment of truth. The scariest part of any build, does it work? Well, let's find out. 3, 2, 1. So far, so good? Maybe? And we have it. It's here. It worked. Fantastic. So while that does it for today, I do hope you liked the video. I was really hoping to end it with some benchmarks, but unfortunately it took way longer than I expected to do all the editing and everything. It's like 4 a.m. right now, so I really have to finish this up and get it out for the embargo tomorrow morning. Either way, if you did like the video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And as always, have a great day.